feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be going over a plethora of different things that have occurred over the weekend. As you guys probably know, Bitcoin has taken a massive correction over the last couple of days. The death cross has occurred, and miners are moving out of China, resulting in a 33% dip in hash rate over the last 45 days. There's also hearings going on in Congress all throughout the month talking about potential regulation on cryptocurrency. We are seeing a ton of FUD in the cryptocurrency space right now, and it is reflecting in the price action. So we are going to be talking about all of that and more in today's live stream. Should you be concerned about your Bitcoin, or should you be buying more? That is the question on the docket today. I am joined, as always, by my co-host and your president, Kinda Crypto Tim. How you doing, Tim?
What's up, everybody? I am here. I'm ready to go. It's gonna be a fun week this week. We're looking at the charts, and it's a fun week to be in crypto.
Someone said they don't
say.
want the price predictions this week. I'm sorry, but we got to bring them.
I say it's our obligation now.
It is our obligation.
Yeah.
We're also joined by two-time champion of the HODL Trophy.
Come on.
Your producer and Smangatan. Smay.
Hello, everybody. I have to say this. It's going to be a tough one for Team Smade this week.
This is a rough
Yeah, this is a rough week.
I've seen their price predictions now.
Yep.
And you'll find out the end of stream, but this is a toughie for me. But I think we're going to pull through, guys.
I don't think so. I'm pretty confident he's going to lose this week.
You would be the GOAT if you win.
If you get a clean sweep on this, I'll give you a hug. That's what I'll do. I'll give you a hug on camera. It'll be great.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I would love to see it.
That'd be
hashtag burn the truck, but I
Yeah,
don't
hashtag
think
burn the
it's going to
truck.
happen.
I don't think it is either. Guys, we have a lot to talk about, but we first want to start with some news around Bitcoin mining, because this is going to set the stage for everything that we have to talk about in today's live stream. Really quickly, though, before we get into that, if you do enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, especially in the drought over here on cryptocurrency YouTube, as a lot of people are getting bored and leaving. Viewership and growing our channels is kind of hard right now, so we very much appreciate the likes. It helps to support our channel and the team that we have, making sure these streams come out 5 days a week, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And also, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and share this stream for anyone that you think might find value in it. But let's go ahead and jump onto my screen, because there is a very important metric over here on blockchain.com that we need to talk about. And it would be none other than the total hash rate in terahashes per second on Bitcoin. As you guys can see here on May the 14th, we saw terahashes max out at 180 million. Looking back on Bitcoin, May the 14th was this date right. Let me grab this so you can see what we're talking about. That was this date right here. This was the day that we saw hash rate on Bitcoin max out was right here. Bitcoin was trading at roughly $50,000. We were still in the middle of a small correction, but the majority of it had not come yet. Unfortunately, what we saw thereafter was China began banning Bitcoin mining. This resulted in a massive drop in hash rate. So we can see here, 90% of Chinese Bitcoin mining closed by Sichuan crackdown. I don't know if I got that. I tried.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure someone will tell me in the chat. Local authorities in southwest China's province have shut down almost all the Bitcoin mining bases in the region in a nationwide crackdown against crypto mining. The ban would mean that more than 90% of China's Bitcoin mining capacity has been compromised, and this province is one of the country's largest crypto mining bases. So let's go to full screen and discuss this. Up until a couple of months ago, China made, depending on the source, up to 60% of global hash rate. And now we have seen 90% of Bitcoin's mining capacity in China on its way to getting shut down. Well, you might be asking the question, if that's the case, shouldn't Bitcoin's hash rate have dropped even more? If we're saying essentially 60% of it just got knocked out, why has it only gone down 33%? And that's the first point I want to make here. We have seen a massive, I'm talking a massive decline in hash rate on Bitcoin. It is dropped from 180 million, as we can see here on the chart, if we jump back on here, down to where it is right now at 125 million. This is actually the lowest we have seen it ever since a major correction in November of last year. We did not have sustained trading, if you will, or movement here at the 120 million mark ever since June of last year. That was the last time that we were here instead of just here on a major correction. So the first point I want to make here is that we've seen a massive country that has literally a majority of Bitcoin mining shut down most of it, and we have not seen as much fallout as we should have. That indicates two things to me. Number one, a lot of the Bitcoin miners in China probably are still mining Bitcoin and they're just doing it illegally. And number two, the Bitcoin miners, as we actually have plenty of evidence of, are moving to other countries, namely Russia and America. A lot of miners are moving to Texas. Some are moving to Miami. The mayor of Miami, Mayor Suarez, is helping to encourage Bitcoin miners to come into Miami and use their cheap nuclear power. So this is one of the big points I want to make here. We have seen a major correction in Bitcoin's price, and a lot of it has to do with the total hash rate. If you guys go back in history and you look at the hash rate, you will find it actually looks very similar to the Bitcoin price action chart. When hash rate's going down, typically Bitcoin's price is going down. When Bitcoin's price is going up, typically Bitcoin's hash rate is going up. So the fact that hash rate has been going down so much is probably a big reason why we've had a correction here, not just the FUD that we've talked about here on the channel, and we're going to talk a little bit more about. But here's the good news. It hasn't corrected anywhere near as much as it could have. We've already seen the majority of this hash rate related correction, and those miners didn't just sell all of their equipment. They didn't just burn all of their equipment. They're moving to other countries. This hash rate is still in existence. It's going to come back. They just need a little bit of time to set up operations in countries that are more friendly to Bitcoin mining. So this is going to be the theme of this entire stream. There is a ton of FUD going on right now in cryptocurrency, but I'm going to continue asking you this question over the course of this entire week. Has anything fundamentally changed? The closest thing in the entire cryptocurrency market to fundamental change that has occurred is the hash rate going down, and that is only because these miners are having to move to different nations, and that takes time. So, Tim, I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. How big of an impact do you think the total hash rate dropping like this is having on the Bitcoin market?
Honestly, when it comes to the hash rate thing, I'm not 100% certain. Now, you know, someone asked in chat, they're like, "Oh, if there's less miners and there's less hash rates going on, shouldn't that mean there's less coins being produced? Shouldn't the price go up?" I'm not, I'm not 100% certain how exactly that works.
I can answer.
I do know. Yeah, you can answer that here in just a second. I do know. I think that the hash rate situation is not necessarily the problem. Ultimately, we talked about it last week. We talked about that concept of if the retail investors miss the boat, darn it. If the institutions miss the boat, well, guess what? The boat's going to come back. How many institutions and big name people did we see say, "Oh, Bitcoin's gonna be dropping to 25,000, maybe even 20,000, and we will buy in when it hits there"? We saw the rich dad poor dad, what's his name, Robert Kiyosaki say, "Oh, when it hits 24,000, that's when I'm gonna be buying a lot more." There, guys, the reason why this is crashing despite all of the good news coming out in Bitcoin is because institutions didn't get on the boat, and they're saying, all right, let's wrap this back again, which goes right back into, I said this last week, people tried to correct me, but I was saying, no, I think we could potentially, I don't think we've hit our spring yet in the accumulation phase of Wyckoff. I think we're going to have to drop a little bit more to hit that spring. Now, I do think some of these institutions are rethinking their purchasing price, whereas some of them were saying 20,000, 24. I mean, we could drop that low, but ultimately, I think they're saying, hey, if we can drop below this 30, let's go ahead and buy in at the 30, because we might not see that happen again, but we will see how that one plays off.
Yeah, so guys, what I'm seeing here is a lot of times the hash rate will actually follow the price. The price doesn't necessarily follow the hash rate. The hash rate can be a lagging indicator. Many times if the price is crashing, miners will turn off their mining operations, at least the lower profitability miners, because they're not making as much money. So only the most efficient miners are still making money, which then drops the hash rate. Oftentimes the hash rate drops after the price. If you guys notice from what I showed you earlier, the hash rate peaked out on May the 14th. The top was a month earlier than that. So the point I want to make here is that while yes, the hash rate has dropped, and while yes, there is fundamental developments going on with China banning Bitcoin, the hash rate dropping actually probably didn't have a very big impact on the price, except for the fact that everybody looks at it, they freak out, and they make a clickbaity headline, and they get everybody to go and sell their Bitcoin. This is a common theme in media surrounding cryptocurrency and the stock market and every market that has ever existed. It is profitable for media outlets to scare people. That's not what we do here. That's one of the things that makes us different, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here to tell you, yes, the hash rate is dropped, but the only reason the price has anything to do with the hash rate is because people are looking at the hash rate and losing their mind. As to the question that was mentioned earlier about if the hash rate's going down, does that mean there's less Bitcoin being produced? That's not how that works. So what happens on Bitcoin is that there's something called a difficulty adjustment every 14 days or 2 weeks, and that adjusts the Bitcoin difficulty, which is how hard is it to mine Bitcoin, so that the hash rate matches the difficulty so that the block time, which is the amount of time it takes to mine a new block, stays at roughly 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin is mined, so it stays in check. So it's not affecting how much Bitcoin is being mined, but it is affecting how much money is being made from mining, because there's less miners in the space. So that is one of our first stories here, and we're going to move on from it, but I just want you guys to be aware that there's a big correction going on in hash rate. A lot of people are going to try to scare you with it, but they are just trying to get your views. I'm telling you, it's not that scary. It's not the end of the world. It's something you want to pay attention to. It is a fundamental metric, and it does have weight in the market, but don't let it get you emotional. With that said, guys, I do want to make sure you guys are aware, because a new sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy just started today. As you guys know, we announced this on Friday. We are uploading 10 new videos to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy over the next 2.5 months, and that first video, I believe, is coming out this Friday. That will be on Head and Shoulders. So guys, we actually are going to be raising the price of Bitcoin. Excuse me, the price of Bitcoin. We have a team of whales, guys, and they're going to rise that price of Bitcoin. We're going to be raising the price of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy from where it sits right now at $349 to $399, as we're adding so much new content, some of that new content coming out just this week, but that price increase is going to happen the 25th, which is this Friday. Until then, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is $40 off. Use coupon code THANKYOU. It's in the description box down below, and you'll get CT2A for only $309. If you guys want to know whether it's worth your money or not, we've had 4,000 people join. You can type in Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy into Google, and you will find a ton of 5-star reviews. Give us a 1 in chat if you're an alumni of CT2A and you love it. It is designed to help you get jump-started in your cryptocurrency education so you can make money in even the most bearish of markets. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next news story. And this is a scary one, guys. This is along with our theme of trying to make you freak out. Bitcoin's chart death crosses after 47% drop from 2019 high. Oh boy, death cross. That sounds scary, doesn't it? Most of you guys probably know what a death cross is, but for some of you guys who are newer here, you might be looking at that word and thinking, oh my gosh, the end of Bitcoin is nigh. The end times are here. That's not what we're looking at, but we're going to go ahead and read a little bit of this article, and I'll show you historically what this means for Bitcoin and why you really shouldn't be worried about it. In fact, you should be very happy that this is occurring, contrary to what the name would lead you to believe. Bitcoin has charted a so-called death cross with recent drops of $7,400. The bearish cross comes as a result of a 47% slide from the 2019 high of $1,380. As such, is a lagging indicator. Historical data shows Bitcoin tends to bottom out after a death cross. Take note of this. Thank you, CoinDesk. This is one of the reasons I like CoinDesk. It's because a lot of times they're not actually trying to FUD you. I love that about some people in cryptocurrency. They actually are pretty good. I like CoinDesk, and this is one reason. Read that again. Historical data shows Bitcoin tends to bottom out after a death cross. We're going to come back to that on the chart here in a second. The cryptocurrency has picked up a bit at press time, but yet to invalidate the bearish case with a move above the September low of 1744. So there is a major correction going on Bitcoin right here, and we can go ahead and talk about this. Bitcoin has crashed quite a bit, and we saw it move with this bearish cross on the 19th of June. This correction pulled Bitcoin back 12%. A death cross is this. It is the 50 daily simple moving average moving below the 200 daily simple moving average. Now, the reason I brought up that article is because it was explaining kind of what a death cross was. That article was actually about a death cross a couple of years ago, but this death cross right now has just occurred. 50 crosses below the 200. So, that's called a death cross. Why? Let's start there. The reason it's called a death cross is because the media is in the job of scaring people because it makes them money. Like I said earlier, that's why it's called a death cross. And the media is also in the job of sensationalizing things to make sure that people are very hyped up and excited when the market deems it fit because it makes them money. This is the point of calling it a death and a golden cross. I use those terms because that's the widely accepted terminology, but I want you to understand it's just a term. It is not the end of Bitcoin because something called a death cross happened. You know, Bitcoin has a lot more going on than just golden and death crosses. But with that said, let's look here at my BLX chart because I have charted on this chart every single death cross that has ever happened in the history of Bitcoin. Notice there was one right here in March of 2020. There was one right here in October of 2019. There was one right here in March of 2018. There was one right here in September of 15. There was one right here in September of 14. There was also one right here in April of 14, and there was one back over here in September of 2011. So these are all the death crosses that have ever happened in history. To date, including the one that just occurred, there have been 8. Let's take a look at them one by one. In this death crosses instance, the very first one in history, Bitcoin was trading at $5. There's some perspective for you, $5. After the death cross, it corrected a whopping 60%. But it only corrected for 53 days, and then after that 53-day correction, we rallied for 750 days, 60,000%. How's that for some perspective? Whenever people see a death cross, they get so caught up in what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks that they forget that death crosses are oftentimes very long-term bullish indicators. Here's another example. After this death cross, we actually pulled back for all of 2 days. We pulled back 23%, and then we rallied 100% in the next 60 days. Okay, so that's a big one. Here is an example of a death cross that actually did lead to a prolonged downtrend. It does happen. We saw Bitcoin pull back 67% over the course of 129 days, but keep in mind, this death cross right here showed up halfway through the bear market, and the next bull market would rally as 10,000%. This death cross happened pretty much on the exact day that the Bitcoin bull market of 2016-17 started. After this death cross, we rallied 8,700%. There's just a couple more here. Just want to give you the historical analysis. There's one more over here in March of 2018. This death cross saw a drop of 27% in 10 days. Following that, we rallied 55%. Yes, we were in a bear market, that is true, but of course, these death crosses are going to show up in bull markets and bear markets. It's not something that can very easily determine a bull or a bear market. You just saw one. In fact, you just saw 2 predict the beginning of a bull market. Here's another one. We saw Bitcoin correct 37%, and then over the next 120 days or so, Bitcoin would rally 60%. Here is the last one before today's, and this resulted in a 900% rally over the course of 388 days. The reason, let's go to full screen, the reason that I spend the time to break down every single death cross is because I want to assuage any fear that you might have in your mind as to whether or not the death cross is going to cause the absolute total collapse of Bitcoin. Because there's a narrative going on in cryptocurrency right now that I am very upset about, of people seeing a death cross and thinking, oh my gosh, it is the end of the world, the sky is falling, Bitcoin is about to correct and is just going to crash. Here's the thing, guys. There's a lot more going on than just technicals. We talk about this all the time. Technical analysis is of paramount importance. So is fundamental analysis. You got to take them both. One indicator can never be the thing that you trade based off of. You have to have a holistic view and perspective on the market. And yes, we did just see a death cross. But in fact, based on the data I just showed you, the death cross is actually a much better indicator of the bottom than it is of a bear market. Yeah. So what do you think about that, Tim?
No, last week I think we read that article talking about, if you look at he just showed you the history, the recent history of Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at the history of the stock market, there has only been 2 times on the S&P 500 that a we saw a massive downfall after a death cross. There was one, I think, back in the 20s that was like 80%, and then another one, I can't remember the exact date, but it was something like 50%. Other than those two instances, the whole article we were talking about was saying actually historically institutional buyers, they love that death cross because what it does is it scares all the retail investors out, and it leaves more money for those investors from the institutions to buy up and make more money.
Yeah, on that note, Smay, go ahead and keep talking, Tim, but I want to show them the last 4 death crosses on the S&P 500. Take a look at these. I've gone ahead and plotted them while Tim was talking. The last death cross occurred on March the 30th, which was pretty much the bottom of the COVID crash that we saw. This one here in 2018 was about 10 days before the bottom here, but it basically called the bottom. The last two happened in 2015, and they both happened pretty much at the exact bottom. Look at this, guys. The only reason it's called a death cross is to strike fear in you. That is what we are here to tell you. That's one of the big reasons why this channel exists, is so that we are not doing that. I'm tired of the media trying to get you emotional to make them money. Anyway, Tim, I interrupted you. Keep going.
No, I mean, I was pretty much finished saying what I was saying. Is that ultimately, what we've been talking about over and over and over and over is you have got to start thinking like the investors from the institutions are thinking, and stop just looking at news articles and making your opinions. Now, is there good trades to be made based off of news articles? Absolutely. Fundamental analysis is a massive mover of trading. However, the real secret sauce is when you know how to think like the institutions and you know what they're thinking and you know how to read the charts the way they read them, that's when you can actually make a lot of money. Just because you made a good some money in January because you invested when everything was low because your friend told you to and you made a lot doesn't mean that practice works every single time. And I'm speaking as somebody who has not been in this field very long, but is doing a lot of research and listening to people who have been here way longer than me. And it's going to take me years before I can fully feel what they're saying. But the amount of people I have seen make money, not only in crypto, but in the stock market as well, who have given advice on when you see these things happening, hold tight because that's when things are going to get really good. I'm just looking at this whole thing and saying, despite the fact that I think the price is still going down on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, I think it's going to be the perfect opportunity for us to hang tight, buy in some more, and then go back to the moon.
Somebody said we have hillbilly beards, Tim.
Hillbilly beards. I just trimmed mine. Actually,
I was say you both could have used a little brush, but
I could use a brush.
Yeah, maybe
on
that
mine.
side. I didn't get as much brush. I woke up a little later this morning than normal, but yeah.
I'm proud of my hillbilly beard.
by
You
the
know.
way, I have something to say to the audience, guys.
All right.
It's gonna be a heart-to-heart moment. You ready?
Okay. Let's hear it.
Listen, you guys. Other than the fact that I want you to like the stream, I need you guys to know something. If you get scared every time Bitcoin goes down, you're a weenie boy. Don't be a weenie boy. Thank you.
That's heart to heart right there.
That's real. Okay, cool. I didn't say it, but Smay said it here first. Guys, that is just another example of how we are going to tell you the truth, even when it's unpopular. For example, when Dogecoin and SafeMoon and Shiba Inu and all these crap projects were moonshotting based off of nothing, we got a lot of flack for saying that they were not worth your investment. And where are they now? We have always told you on this channel, you are going to make money based on 3 things. Several things, but they normally fall into these 3 camps. Your understanding of technical analysis, your understanding of fundamental analysis, and your understanding of how to learn about those 2 things. That is why we created the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, is because it is our mission here as a company to help give you back your destiny from the people that stole it from you by convincing you that you had to go through the college system to make money, or you had to invest the way the media tells you to invest to make money, or the people that convinced you that you were not in control of your own future because you don't have the power to make a life for yourself. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. I am living, breathing proof that if you work yourself, you can make it. You can make a lot of money in this space. You can provide for your kids. You can retire your parents. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's only behind one barrier. And that barrier is you. That barrier is your own education. And that's why we're here not to teach you what to think like the mainstream media tries to do, but we're here to teach you how to think so that you can make reasonable and informed decisions on your own. If you guys are interested in that, subscribe to the channel, but also sign up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. The link is in the description box down below. And like I said, for the next 4 days, there's a $40 off sale. Use the coupon code THANKYOU at checkout to get that activated.
Hold on a second.
What you got?
Maybe we should just show them the ad to know what they're going to be getting if they do buy CT2A.
I think that's a good idea.
All right,
Let's
I'm
see
going
it.
to run it.
Let's see it.
got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now.
All right, we back.
We back. So guys, as you can see, there are several new videos coming out of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. They're going to be rolling out every Friday for the next 2.5 months, and anyone who is in the Academy is going to be getting access to all of that content for one price. We don't do DLC here. When we add new content, our members get it added to their curriculum as they go. What you got,
I
Tim?
will say this real quick. Hold on, wait. Guys, the DVDs are not real DVDs. We're not releasing DVDs. It was just for the creative effect.
It's just for the aesthetic.
Oh my word! No, I'm in agreement with NO. Hashtag don't be a weenie boy.
Don't be a
hashtag
weenie
don't be a weenie boy.
We got to see that moving. That should be trending on Twitter here very
Well,
soon.
I love it because somebody commented. They said, "Well, God, you told us to hodl at 40,000 too." It's like, yeah,
I told you to hodl at 65,000.
Hodl all of them.
I told y'all to hodl at 3,000, and the people that listen to me are happy right now.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much what we're always gonna say.
Yeah.
I think we should take some time and answer some super chats. We don't
Okay,
have as many
let's do
super
it.
chats today as normal, but let's answer them. Alessandra the Cynical said, on one hand, I'm loving the discount since I'm in it for the long haul, but I am annoyed that every time Grandpa Bitcoin has a stroke and the entire market suffers, will the altcoins ever decouple from Bitcoin?
It's going to be a while. Yeah, so that's going to happen when the first altcoin that will decouple from Bitcoin will be Ethereum. If Ethereum 2.0 manages to launch, and if Ethereum starts providing a platform that is being used by a multiplicity of different people for a multiplicity of different things, it's going to be very hard. It's not something I expect in the next couple of years because Grandpa Bitcoin does leave the industry right now. That's how young industries work. They typically move in packs or in herds, if you will. It's going to take a while, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Moving on, we got another one from Seth McEntry. Come on, Paige. There we go. Loosen up for me. Thanks, guys. I check in with you guys every morning. If you only had 1.5K, where would you put it?
I would put all of it into books, courses, and education material. Maybe not all of it, maybe $1,000 of it, and have $500 to play around with, actually. The reason that I say that, by the way, is not because I sell a course, obviously. The reason that I say that is because I wholeheartedly believe that the best investment you can ever make is an investment in yourself. Learning is the thing that will make you very wealthy. LeBron James, all these very wealthy basketball players, football players, they got wealthy because they invested in their bodies and their minds. You know how much money some of these football players and wrestlers and boxers put into trainers and nutritions and books and watching tapes? You know how much time they put into all of that? They do that because the best investment they can make is an investment in themselves. We should be looking at ourselves the same way. That's how I would answer that.
Jeb, did you just say wrestlers?
Wrestlers.
Old wrestlers.
All these
I might
wrestlers.
have. All these
I
wrestlers.
love it. Thank you. Thank you for that moment, Jeb. It makes my heart happy.
Ozzy Todd said, I think Smay should recreate CT2A. Seems to be the king of crypto. Hashtag burn the truck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, baby.
Luis Garcia says, all big money buys OTC. So do we have to rely on scared retail to move price up? Even though whales are buying now, will it always be like this?
It's going to be like this for a while. Yeah, there is a lot of action going on the over-the-counter markets, but it's... You know, the thing is, scared retail actually has a massive impact on the price, as we've seen. But it's not just the institutions aren't just buying on over the counter. A lot of them do buy on exchange, especially the medium-sized guys that have maybe 10 to 100 Bitcoin. They're not always buying on over the counter. And the other thing you gotta keep in mind is that a lot of the big guys that are buying OTC are also selling OTC. So they're kind of not moving the market either way. What we really want to see Bitcoin do is we want to see Bitcoin appreciate in price based on supply and demand economics and fundamentals. So as they're buying Bitcoin, it might not have a direct impact on the price because it's not moving the order books on an exchange. What it is doing is it's taking Bitcoin out of circulation and driving the price up because of that supply and demand economics.
You know what the second best investment is?
What?
An investment in that like button.
An investment in that like button. Ooh, I like that.
Last one from Matt C. He
Let's go,
says,
Matt.
I understand the instinct to panic when we see the price crashing. Heck, I feel it too, but you have to zoom out and look at the big picture. Take this moment as an actual opportunity to get Bitcoin on sale.
Yeah, guys, look,
Absolutely.
I'm just going to be real with you. If anybody in this entire stream has a reason to be concerned, it's me with a company that does media around cryptocurrency. I'm not worried. I've been here for 4 years, guys. I have been through a lot worse. When I got into the cryptocurrency space, it was at $3,000, then it went to $20,000, then it went back to $3,000, then it went to $14,000, then it went back to $3,000, then it went to $65,000, and now we're here at 40 or 30. It's not anything to be concerned about. The market is cyclical. I say this when we're up and I say this when we're down because I want people to be prepared for when we do go down because it's going to happen. It's just the way this works. It's nothing to be concerned about. If you're here for the long haul, if you're investing, and even if you're trading, there's plenty of money to be made. Investments, you have to buy low, sell high. That involves the market going low so you can buy. Yeah. And if you're a trader, there's actually more volatility going on right now than there was 2 weeks ago, so you got plenty of money to make, especially if you're a scalper, which, by the way, I know a pretty solid trading platform that you can scalp and leverage.
Someone was asking in chat earlier, what is Lux Algo saying at this moment? So
Good
this
question.
would be a great segue into go see what Lux Algo is saying.
Indeed. Let's go see what Lux Algo is saying. If you guys don't know what Lux Algo is, they're one of the sponsors of this channel, and the only reason that they're a sponsor of this channel is because they actually have a very solid product that is really good at giving signals. I have not done any pre-analysis on this. I am literally loading this up as we speak. So let's see what it's saying down here on the short-term charts for anyone who is looking to make some scalp trades. As we can see, Lux Algo gave us a sell signal back on 1200 hours on the 16th of June, and we saw Bitcoin move into a major correction before that. You could also see that there was a major buy signal right before this movement. As you can see, these are predictive signals. This didn't show up down here. This showed up right here at the beginning of it. So on the 4-hourly chart, it's looking pretty solid. Down here on the hourly chart, let's take a look at what it shows down here. And by the way, these are default signals. I literally turned it on, loaded it up. This is what it's telling me. You can see we had a buy signal right here about halfway through. Not bad. Could have been a little bit earlier, but you know these indicators are never going to be perfect. We can see if there's a strong sell signal right here before we started to have a major correction, so that's a good sign. We also saw if there was a major sell signal right here before this correction and right here before this correction. So far it's doing pretty well. If you guys would like to sign up for Lux Algo and get access to this indicator pack, I would highly encourage you to do so. The link is in the description. In case you want to see whether or not it works, go ahead and pause the screen right here. This is on the Bitcoin hourly chart and see for yourself if this is worth your while. That is one of the indicators that I use in my analysis. So guys, unless there are any other super chats, Tim, we're going to move on to some news coming into cryptocurrency in Congress. And then we're going to move on to some technical analysis on some of your favorite cryptocurrencies. But first, let's knock out the rest of these fundamentals. State of crypto. Congressional hearings are ramping up. We're seeing regulators and lawmakers pay closer attention to crypto and specifically how it may be regulated. Now, on the surface, this just looks like another FUD story. We've seen China banning Bitcoin mining. We've seen the death cross. Now we're seeing more regulation on Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, what is going on with all of this? All of this looks bad. That's how it looks on the surface. I'm here to tell you that these three stories are actually very bullish. I don't know if you noticed, but we talked about earlier how Bitcoin mining in China being shut down was actually a very good thing. Why? Because there was a lot of centralization of Bitcoin mining in China. China shutting down Bitcoin mining actually advances the decentralization of Bitcoin. 60% of Bitcoin mining was going on in China. That's dangerous. Them banning Bitcoin mining was essentially them relinquishing any power they had over the Bitcoin network. Sure, it might have had a short-term price impact. It is a very good fundamental thing. We just showed you also on the death cross on Bitcoin how death crosses historically show up at the bottom of markets and they normally predict bull markets. That's not opinion, that's fact. I showed you 7 or 8 of them on Bitcoin. I showed you the last 4 on the stock market. It's a buy signal. And here we are to talk about Congress talking about regulating Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. This is a bad thing, right? Well, does Congress try to regulate an industry that doesn't matter? Does Congress try to regulate an industry that isn't growing? Have we even read yet what they're trying to do? No. I would say this is a good thing because it shows that the government is starting to take Bitcoin and cryptocurrency seriously. They think it's here to stay, and they think it's something that they should be looking into. That is a buy signal for me. As far as a fundamental investor, I'm looking at this and saying, okay, this is a good thing. See the theme here. We're taking all these stories that people are trying to scare you with, and I'm here to show you and tell you they're actually good things, and you gotta be educated so you understand them. Anyway, soapbox being put aside, let's continue. We're seeing regulators and lawmakers pay closer attention to crypto and specifically how it may be regulated. The U.S. Congress is holding 4 different hearings that are directly tied to crypto this month, reflecting the growing scrutiny around the industry. I don't know if I agree with that. Scrutiny, I don't think they're using scrutiny in necessarily a bad way here. They're talking about just looking at it. You're reading State of Crypto, a CoinDesk newsletter. Boom, cool. The narrative. In about 30 minutes, the House Financial Services Committee FinTech Task Force, that's a long name, is going to kick off a hearing on central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, that we've talked about here on the channel. It's one of 4 major congressional hearings on crypto this month. Why it matters. It feels like Congress is starting to look a bit more closely at crypto. 4 different hearings in June are going to focus on recent crypto bull market activity, whether Bitcoin is bad for investors and good for criminals, and what lawmakers can and should do about it. To be clear, there have been hearings for years. What's different now is we're starting to narrow in on specific issues and clearer examples of topics within the industry. That's a very good fundamental sign. There have been people for a very long time. I'm forgetting his name. He's from I'm forgetting his name. Either way, Thomas Lee. Thank you, Thomas Lee. Thomas Lee has been saying for the last 4 years, in fact, longer than that, and I have been too. After I heard him say it, I realized he was right. That one of the barriers to mass adoption of Bitcoin is regulatory uncertainty. Businesses need to know how an industry is going to be regulated before they invest hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in it. They've just got to have some understanding of what the government is going to do around it. There needs to be regulatory clarity. Now, we want to make sure that this regulation is not bad for Bitcoin. We want to make sure that regulation doesn't turn into a 4-letter word, but we do want to make sure that there is clarity around how the government will regulate it. That is very conducive to business. Many countries that are already seeing regulatory frameworks put in place are seeing adoption of Bitcoin and are seeing influxes of investment into cryptocurrency because the companies that are doing so understand how it'll be treated. So that's a big point. Don't want to miss that. Last week, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a former presidential contender and longstanding advocate for consumer protection, hosted a Senate subcommittee hearing on cryptocurrencies. On paper, the hearing was about central bank digital currency, CBDCs, but Bitcoin and to a lesser extent cryptocurrency at large ended up being the real subject, and if you're Bitcoin, it wasn't a great hearing. Warren took aim at Bitcoin's price volatility, some of the consumer protection concerns around digital assets, and the energy required to secure the Bitcoin network. Those aren't new concerns. We've been hearing about these for years, and they are FUD, which we've talked about many times on this channel. But last week's hearing, another 3 occurring this month, suggests we're getting some to a new stage of regulatory awareness. Here's a rough historical summary. Bitcoin launches, regulators are aware, but they're not overly concerned, and we see some guidance on how IRS and FinCEN will treat it. The initial coin offering boom happens. You guys remember that from 2017, and the SEC jumps in with the Dow report and subsequent enforcement actions. I'll let you read the rest of this. The point is, there has been a progressing movement of regulation and regulatory clarity around Bitcoin, and that is continuing now. Whether Elizabeth Warren or anyone else in Congress wants to FUD Bitcoin, here's 2 key points for you. Let's go to full screen. I'll leave it at this. Number 1, Bitcoin is not capable of being controlled by the U.S. government the same way the U.S. dollar can be. It's impossible. The U.S. government has no authority over Bitcoin. They can try, they will fail. It's going to be a prohibition story if they try. It's not going to happen. And number 2, they're not even trying in the first place. The U.S. government, as far as I can tell, based on everything that we're seeing, is not trying to attack Bitcoin. Now, of course, there are going to be certain people in Congress that are attacking Bitcoin based on environmental concerns and based on consumer protection. That happens with any growing industry. There were people in the beginning of the smartphone age worried that putting a phone up to your ear would give you cancer because of radiation. We think it's ridiculous now, but there were people that were genuinely concerned about that. That is the nature of a growing industry. It's not something we should be concerned about, but the advancement of regulatory clarity is something that we should be excited about. So that's my take on that, guys. You see how we're trying to turn these seemingly bad stories and show you how they're actually not. The whole point of this stream is to make sure that you are not getting FUD overwhelming you because of what the media and the internet is trying to tell you. What do you think about that, Tim?
Man, you hit it on the spot. Like, ultimately, we've been saying it over and over and over again, but I love that, again, it's not that we break news. Like, that's not what our niche is. We're not going to, our niche, we're not going to be the first people to ever report something. But what we're going to help you guys do is actually know how to read that news and how to apply it to your trading. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly, it's right on. Like, literally, the amount of news coming out. And to be fair, it's not just FUD news. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, we haven't seen a lot of it recently, but there's also a lot of FOMO news when we're starting into a bull market. And if you guys watching back, this is not just Jeb saying, hey guys, let me deny that the bull market is over because he's just in love with Bitcoin. Back when we were rallying like crazy, Jeb was sitting here kind of picking at all the FOMO news and saying, that's not really accurate. We are needing a correction. Yep. This is happening way too fast. He loves Bitcoin, but he's like, even for me, like, this is too fast. So ultimately, you got to know not only where to look for news, but you got to know what you do with that news. And so that's why it's super helpful.
Amen. Heck yeah. Guys, that's the really important thing is news requires interpretation, and so does technical analysis. That's why we launched CT2A. Links in the description. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to, let's read a couple of super chats, then we're going to move on to some technical analysis.
We got one from Craig L saying, keep up the good work. This is a pretty... Craig, you can be my dad. He says, keep up the good work. I pay my son in Bitcoin for his allowance. I would love to have
That's
my
a good
allowance
dad.
paid in
That's
Bitcoin.
a good dad right there. I bet you got a crazy
happy
good
Father's
Day
Day,
card.
Craig.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, man.
What would
Well,
a
probably
crypto...
not right now because I mean,
Oh, well.
yeah.
What would a crypto market recovery look like if the stock market crashes? That is a great question.
Oh boy, if the stock market crashed, it would probably be because of something intrinsic to the US dollar or the US government. And that would probably lead to a lot of FUD around global currencies, which would probably lead to a lot of people in crypto. You might have noticed there's like 4 probablys there. It is very difficult to determine what's going to happen when the stock market crashes and how that's going to impact Bitcoin. There's so many moving parts. I cannot stress enough. The stock market, the New York Stock Exchange has $26 trillion worth of market cap traded on it. This is a gigantic industry. It's very hard to tell what it's going to do. Generally speaking, though, if the stock market crashes, it's probably going to lead to investors looking for a hedge, which is something that's going to do the opposite of their other investment, which is the stock market. So if you look for the opposite of a crashing stock market, you might look for a rallying Bitcoin. I think it'd be good for Bitcoin, but that's very much an I think. It's very difficult to do any determinate analysis on that.
All right, we got another one here. We got from David Breeze. Says, is there a way to get notified on, I think he's saying Lux Algo. It says Liz Algo. But is there a way to get notified on Lux Algo signals? So, like, for example, if you're not looking, can you get a notification saying buy?
I don't want to tell you something that's not true, but I'm pretty sure you can. I can't tell you for certain, but I'm pretty sure you can. I've never turned that on. If you guys check out their website, I guarantee you they're going to have some information on that. Tim, can you write a note on that and we'll check into that?
I will.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that you can set up notifications based on indicators on TradingView, so I would assume that works on Lux Algo. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't want to say for certain because I don't want to mislead you, but I believe you can. Yes.
All right.
Good
and we
question.
got one more from Josh Bernstein saying, hey guys, I'm pretty new to crypto and so far have only invested in ADA. I see this current situation as a buy the dip opportunity. That said, which crypto would you recommend I invest in, now assuming a max budget of $1,000?
If you don't have any Bitcoin, you need to have some Bitcoin. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do always encourage people to have at least half of their portfolio in Bitcoin, simply because Bitcoin is the big dog, and it's the big dog for a reason. It started the whole space, and it's probably always going to be number one. If you're only invested in ADA, I would put most of that into Bitcoin and then sprinkle some into Ethereum and some other altcoins. That is not financial advice. That is simply my opinion. Talk to a financial advisor if you would like financial advice, but you asked my opinion, so that is my opinion. That's what I do anyway. Cool. So we got one more from Corey also. Let's see that. Yeah, I'll read it.
Yep.
Are there any other YouTubers that you're looking to collab/interview with? Oh yeah, Corey.
Yes.
We go on Around the Blockchain, which is over on BitBoy Crypto's channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We collaborated with Andrew Moe recently, who does stock market stuff. We're collaborating with Crown Crypto. I believe his name's Crown Crypto. I believe that. I know his name. I just don't remember his exact YouTube name. I think it's Crown Crypto. We're going to be collaborating with him here on Wednesday, more than likely. Yeah, we have a. Let's see. There's several of them. Yeah. Absolutely. Good deal, guys. So we're going to go ahead and move on here to some and by the way, you should go subscribe to all those channels. They're good guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to some Bitcoin technical analysis here because I know you guys are interested in seeing what Bitcoin is actually doing. We've spent the majority of this stream talking about fundamentals, but now let's move on to some technicals. Obviously, the first technical that I'm going to point out to you, but I'm not going to harp on because I already have, is the death cross. We saw that happen. Bitcoin crashed. Oh gosh, we're all going to freak out, right? No, we're okay. We're solid. Here's what we've seen happen on Bitcoin. We've been trading sideways for the last 2 months almost. In that time, or in the last month or so, in that time of sideways trading, something very important has been noticed. This looks like a bear flag, or it looks like accumulation/distribution. There's a whole argument going on in cryptocurrency right now saying, is this accumulation for a rally or distribution for a massive crash? It is an open debate, and I'm not going to weigh in on it, but that is the debate. The point is this: Bitcoin is trading sideways, and there's two things that this can do. One take is you've seen bearishness. Now the bulls are strong enough to hold us flat, so clearly the bulls are going to come out on top next, right? That's one argument. The next argument is Bitcoin is crashing, we've seen sideways trading, and this is a bear flag, which is going to result in a major correction. That's the second argument. So which one is accurate? That is the million-dollar question right now. Are we going to crash and burn, or are we going to bounce from here? I am actually leaning in the second camp of a correction, and I'll show you why. Bitcoin has tried to get above the 20-daily exponential moving average recently, and it failed. We broke above it on the 13th of June. We stayed above it for 5 days, and we pulled back below it just recently. In the last 7 days, 6 of these days have been red. In that time, Bitcoin has corrected down to $31,500, and we've seen very, very low volume. Notice how low the volume is. The 20 moving average going through the volume has continued to decline. It's finally flattened out, but the volume is nothing to be excited about. The Bollinger Bands are extremely tight, and right now Bitcoin is floating on the very bottom of them. So there's low volatility, there's low volume, and there's also low retail investor interest. I talk about those three things all the time because they're three of the biggest indicators for cryptocurrency bullishness. Right now, we've seen all three of them go down. That is indicating to me that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see more correction. That's indicating to me that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see the price go down. Here's what I want to make a point of before I move on, because I don't want to be like the FUD that I just talked about. Yes, Bitcoin's price is probably going to correct. Yes, Bitcoin's price is probably going to go down into the 20s. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Is that something we should be scared about? Absolutely not. That is something that we should look at as a massive opportunity. So you're going to hear me talking about this technical analysis with joy because it gives us a buying opportunity. And for anyone who's a trader, you're getting a trading opportunity also. So what are we scared of? Let's continue. Bitcoin also sees its TD sequential sitting at 5, so it has not corrected for anyone curious about that. And we can also see that Lux Algo had a sell signal a very long time ago, and that sell signal has still not turned into a buy signal. Look at how long we've been in a strong sell signal on Lux Algo. I think this is the longest that it has ever held a sell signal in at least the last few years. Here's why I think that we're going to pull back below our support at $31,500. If we do some Fibonacci extension analysis, Fibonacci retracement analysis, we're going to find that there is an important support level sitting right here in between roughly 29,000. I'm actually going to move this down here to the beginning of the bull market on that point. This is giving us an interesting level of support right here at $28,700 and change. That is the 65% retracement level. And we also see a support level at $30,600 here at the 61.8% retracement level. This right here is called the golden pocket. Between 61.8 and 65% is generally speaking where you see a correction move to. I've shown you guys many times on other charts how Bitcoin had multiple corrections all the way up to that level back in 2018 when we were in the bear market. We didn't see it here, but we did see it on this movement right here. Notice how we moved into the golden pocket, and we saw it on this movement right here. Notice how we moved into the golden pocket. The golden pocket is something that you want to pay close attention to whenever you're near it, and right now we are. That indicates Bitcoin pulling back to between $28,500 and $31,500. There's a few more reasons why I think that's going to happen, though. Number one, we have seen that death cross. And remember, I didn't say that it's not a bearish indicator. In fact, the death cross, generally speaking, does lead to a short-term correction of between 2 and 14 days. The point I was making earlier is that the death cross, in the long run, ends up being a buy signal in the beginning of a bull market. It doesn't mean that it's not going to have a correction. Most of the time when there's a death cross, you see a correction for the next 2 to 14 days. I think this is going to be one of those cases. Another reason why I see us going down to where I'm talking about is because of our previous support. As you guys can see, there was a correction when Bitcoin rallied to $42,000 as its new all-time high. We set a double bottom down here at $28,700. That is a support level that we cannot ignore, and I think that's where we're going to go at this point. There's a few other reasons why I think we're going to where I'm talking about, but I'm going to leave it at that for right now. My price prediction for this week, as you guys are going to see, is roughly $28,700 based on that analysis. And we're going to continue moving on here with technical analysis, but before we do, I want to hear Tim's take, and is there anything that you disagree with me on or anything that I didn't talk about that you think the audience should know about?
Oh, no. Literally, at this point, what you talked about was big. What is, he kind of mentioned at the beginning, what we're not really sure about, and I can see the argument people saying, if we were following the Wyckoff distribution, which you would have to say, you have to admit that we definitely were following it as of, when we hit our all-time high to come back down. It actually looks like a chart-for-chart, match-for-match thing. The question is, and it's really hard, are we continuing that distribution or are we continuing the accumulation? Because ultimately we are applying to the rules of both of them.
Yep.
I do believe with all of the news, so this is where, again, the news is massive, and we saw all of these institutions talking about the fact that if we went green and if we dropped below 30, they would be getting in, and we're seeing both those things happen. So is it possible that the distribution phase is still in effect? Absolutely, it is possible. However, when you pair what we are seeing with the fundamental analysis, and we're seeing it play out the way it's supposed to, it is looking like it's match for match for what is happening on the accumulation phase of Wyckoff, which backs up the argument that we are continuing to go into a bull market. Another thing I was telling Jeb before the stream, and I was looking for the article, but ultimately, it was an article we read last week. I just can't go back and find it. However, traditionally in a bear market, you are going to see no new wallets popping up. You're going to see people selling. You're going to see wallets disappearing, but you don't see brand new wallets pop out of nowhere. We are still every single day seeing new people being, not just new wallets from the same people, but we're seeing new wallets, new addresses coming into effect, which means that despite the fact that the price continues to drop, we are seeing more and more people getting into Bitcoin. Ultimately, that is the telltale sign of FUD, of manipulation, of there's a lot of demand for it, and we are about to hit our what accumulation phase calls the spring, in which case we resume back into our bull market, our bull run, and we go on and hit new all-time highs. So kind of hang tight for the next couple weeks. However, when you pair all that information together, that is why I'm in the camp of saying we are in the accumulation phase. And specifically, I believe we're in phase C. So if you do your research, go look at what it looks like in phase C. That would explain why we are dropping below 30, but then we will hit a spring and we will rise again. That's my take. That's my opinion.
We'll rise again.
So, what?
Nothing.
Yeah, no, guys, here's what I think. I think that Bitcoin is going to have a downtrend over the next couple of weeks. It's probably going to bottom out somewhere in the mid-20s, and then it's probably going to trade sideways for a little while. And then the institutions are going to come in. They're going to start buying a ton of it. People are going to start getting their weak hands shaken out, and we're going to go through a little bit of a crypto winter, and then we're going to go into a massive freaking rally because the fundamentals are so strong right now, and it's undeniable. There are countries adopting Bitcoin now, and we're still worried about this. You guys know the U.S. dollar is worth like $30 trillion in market cap, especially after all the printing we've seen going on. Bitcoin is worth, what, right now, like $600 billion, $500 billion, whatever it's worth. Bitcoin is worth nothing compared to global currencies. Nothing. And it's turning into a global currency. If you're here for the long run, you got nothing to be worried about. With that said, I think we have a couple of super chats.
We
can go ahead and read.
Yep.
Let's do
we
it.
have one from CDAT guy over there. That's a great name.
That's a great name.
Are there good crypto wallets on Amazon? I want to take advantage of Prime Day. Keep up the great work, gentlemen.
I wouldn't buy a crypto wallet on Amazon. I would buy crypto wallets directly from the manufacturer. So Ledger or Trezor are two good examples. We actually have a Ledger affiliate link down below. If you want to support the channel, you can get I think we have a discount code actually through that. Buy them direct from the manufacturer, because if you buy it on Amazon, you're introducing a third party. Probably nothing would happen, but it's just not worth the risk.
I've heard stories of people getting used ones, and
then they get stolen.
Yeah, it gets hit.
And then it gets stolen. So never, ever, ever. This is great advice, guys. Please listen. Never, ever, ever buy a secondhand wallet. Only ever buy a brand new wallet that has the security film around it, so that you know it hasn't been tampered with. Buy it direct from the manufacturer. I never buy a crypto wallet on Amazon.
That's
not worth it.
That is great. I've never even thought about that. So
it's important.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question.
Advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maxwell Steele, I'm sure it wasn't the advice he wanted. I think he wanted the deal.
Yeah, he wanted the deal, but I'm sorry. It's worth spending the extra $20 on Ledger's website for the full price.
Maxwell Steele said, did you watch Charles Hoskinson on Lex Friedman's podcast? If not, I would highly recommend taking a listen. Smart contracts going live on ADA soon. I think, Maxwell, there's already a couple that have gone live on Cardano, if I'm not wrong. But yes, they are definitely upping their game, and even more coming, especially as we go closer to August, which is really cool about Cardano. And before I can give it over to Jeb, it's really cool. Ethereum, we see all their forks coming out and they keep delaying them. Cardano tells us the fork is coming in, the update's coming in August, and they're doing things early. I love that initiative
Head
from
of schedule.
Charles. But yes, what are your thoughts about that? I don't think we saw the show.
I haven't seen the podcast. I'm interested in it, but look, guys, ADA has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take on the juggernaut that is Ethereum. While Ethereum is trying to reorganize and regroup around ETH 2.0 and 1559 and everything, ADA has an opportunity to challenge it. It needs to be going ahead of schedule. If Cardano is ever going to challenge Ethereum at its own game, which it's not exactly trying to do, but if it is going to do that, it needs to do it quickly, which I think it is doing. So good news for anyone who is in ADA.
New super chat just came up from Matt C.
Let's go, Matt.
When are you guys going to organize a Crypto Jeb meetup? If Ben has the Bit Squad, you have the Jebby Nights.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Jebby Nights.
That's pretty funny. Would be great to hang with the community. That would be great.
We want to do something like that.
Yeah, I know. We have a lot of things in the works to do a lot more interaction with you guys, but we will keep you posted on all those details.
Yep.
I don't want to say anything and then it not come to fruition, because there's actually been a couple things things floating around the office. But again, I would hate to tell you guys and give you guys some hope to something, and then we end up not doing that. But trust me, something will happen.
I'll go ahead and give them my home address if they want to come visit me.
Oh, true.
Oh, God.
Your family's moving, so it's not going to be valid much, much longer.
Someone said, so good to see Adam Calhoun on the show. I think they're talking about you, Tim.
Adam Calhoun.
I don't know. I didn't know who it was either. I had to look it up.
Who is Adam Calhoun?
I have no idea. Is it Adam Calhoun?
Adam.
I have no clue, but he looks like you. He's a singer.
A singer, huh?
Oh, he does country rap. You know what you get when you combine country and rap? Crap. That's what you get.
That's true. I mean, I do.
You kind of look like him. You got the beard.
I'm gonna have to look him up and give him a little more attention because we might have the same family.
That's pretty funny.
Down the line.
Hold on, wait a minute. Somebody made a good point. It's like Jedi, except so it's Jedi Knights.
The Jedi Knights.
The Jedi Knights.
I thought it was like the planet, like Jebulite. There's like. All right, a few more super chats, then we're going to have to wrap up the stream. Hey, guys, you all rock. Any experience and advice you can give with peer pressure to sell? I'm sure there's plenty of people in that boat.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Tim? I want to hear your take on it.
Well, I ultimately, if you are scared of volatility, truth be told, crypto and all of trading might not be for you. Like if you are petrified by investing and then seeing that investment technically go negative for a little bit, then you might need to go back to the drawing board and rethink how you want to allocate your money. However, when it comes to the question of is crypto, because I still get this from my family. The other day my dad was like, "Isn't crypto irrelevant at this point?" In which case I was like, "Okay, that's
boy,
it's the farthest thing from irrelevant." However, when you get that peer pressure, you have to go back to your why. And that is the biggest thing about all of life. Not just trading, not just about crypto or investing, but why do you do the things you do? And if you don't have a good why for when you start something, odds are you're either going to end up quitting or you're going to not give it everything you had. But if you start something with a why and you go back to that why, so for this case, crypto, and I'm thinking specifically Bitcoin, that's probably the most predominant one talked about. Why did you get into Bitcoin in the first place? And then go ask yourself, what has changed since then? You'll hear us say that question all the time. What has changed? If you're saying, oh, well, everyone's telling me Bitcoin's died. Well, guess what? Bitcoin has died and come back to life over 400 times. So that's not a good point. Why are you in it and what has changed? Oh, well, the price is going down. Well, guess what? It does that all the time. That's called volatility. Nothing has changed. Why are you in Bitcoin? Just keep asking yourself that question over and over again. And that is what's going to give you the courage and strength to hang tight and to hodl rather than the way hashtag don't be a weenie boy and sell, you know?
That's great. That is fantastic advice, guys. And the best thing I can do to follow that up is just the word experience. Really, the longer you've been here, the less it worries you. Like, for example, in my walk with the Lord, I have had so many times where people have challenged my faith, and I've been like, oh, gosh, are they right? And then I think about it, and I'm like, oh, no, I've heard that before. I've heard this before. And you just kind of get used to it. It's not confirmation bias. That is not what I'm talking about, but you've just kind of heard it all before. I've heard it. Oh, gosh, Bitcoin's crashing. Oh, gosh, this country's banning Bitcoin. Oh, gosh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's just as true today as tomorrow that Bitcoin is going to do and is doing what it said it was going to. How did I manage to say that?
Yeah. You know the best thing I can do to follow it up?
What? Smash the like button for Smay's gonna drop a new album, guys. Let's wrap out with these super chats.
Last super chat, at least I think it's last
There's
one.
There's two actually.
Is there?
There's three actually.
Ooh.
It's Shaboom.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the one I'm starting on. Is there one beneath that? Okay. Should I
that.
hold Bitcoin for 7 to 8 years or buy and sell after each bear and bull
HODL
per year?
The former. Buy it, hold it, forget about it. Literally, that's some great advice right there. Buy it, hold it, forget about it. You will be happy you did. You know how many... I ran into someone who literally told me, oh, I just found a wallet that I forgot about and I had like 8 years ago. He's worth like $50 million now because of that. Yeah, well, it's the best thing you can do for yourself is buy it, hold it, forget it.
And following up, this next super chat is going to even wrap this up even more. Darth Flyer says, while y'all are thinking about selling, institutions are buying. Don't complain years from now. You either believe in Bitcoin or you don't.
Yeah.
And that is such the truth. Like, ultimately, even the FUD right now, the FUD is not even saying that Bitcoin's going to die. No. The FUD is simply complaining about stuff. But you see, even in the FUD, when you root it out, the people are saying that they realize that Bitcoin is going to do well. The question is if we want it to do well.
Yep.
So ultimately, even the haters of Bitcoin can no longer deny that it has a place, it's here to stay. So with that, do I hold or do I sell thing, even the haters say hold.
Yep.
They just don't like it.
Yep. Guys, with that, if you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this stream with anyone that you think needs to hear that Bitcoin is here to stay. And by the way, if you want to follow us on social media, you can at CryptoJeb for Instagram and Twitter. We're constantly posting over there, and there's a lot of valuable content that you're going to get access to, as well as live updates on what we're doing. And also make sure to follow us on TikTok at CryptoJebOfficial. We're posting a ton of content over there as well. And one final reminder, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is on sale for the next 4 days. It ends midnight on Thursday. There will be no extension because the price of the course is going up on Friday. If you want to learn about technical analysis and learn how to profit in a downtrend like we're in right now, I highly encourage you to invest in yourself. Whether you do it with us or not, that's okay. But we do have a fantastic product that we have been promoting for 3 years now that 4,000 students have gone through. Give us a 1 in chat if you're in CT2A and love it. You can literally go on Google, type in Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, look at all the Google reviews. Every one of them but one 4-star is a 5-star review. So make sure to sign up down below. We have a full 14-day money-back refund guarantee.
There's 10 new videos coming.
And there's 10 new videos coming. Let's go over those price predictions.
Well, before that, we have one more super chat.
Okay.
It's probably something we do not talk about it crazy often, but we need to address that. Corey says, love to hear Jeb reference his walk with the Lord. That, Corey, is so true. So here's the thing. We realize this is probably going to make a lot of people upset. That's just the nature of what happens. But the only reason we do what we do and the only reason we are here is because of our faith. Ultimately, and some people like to criticize and be like, how can you do this? Ultimately, because of our relationship with Jesus, all three of us in this room, Jeb, Tim, and Smay, we care about people. We love you. We want you guys to see financial freedom because ultimately, that is the whole point in life, that at one point we were made to be free. And due to our poor circumstances, we had that stolen from us. And the story of Jesus is that he gives you your freedom back.
Yep.
Ultimately, I'm not saying that Jesus equals Bitcoin. What I'm saying is Jesus loves you and he wants your freedom from everything that keeps you down. Bitcoin is a way that we can help financially. So what us educating and helping people is our way of caring and loving you guys. If we just wanted to make ourselves rich, we just trade, we stay quiet.
Yep.
But ultimately, because of how much we love you guys, due to our faith, that's why we're here every single day.
Yes.
So whether you agree or disagree, just know we love you guys.
We do.
We are here for you guys. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask us.
Absolutely.
Question us. We love to answer those questions. We also just don't want to make it too big to where we get away from the show. That's why we don't always sit here and talk about Jesus every single day. But we do love Jesus.
Yes.
We are followers. We'll never be ashamed, and that might ruffle some feathers. But just so you guys know, that's why we are who we are. We would not be who we are without him.
Absolutely. Praise the Lord.
So changing that was great, but changing the kind of the spectrum. Our price predictions. If you are new, every single Monday we predict what we think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano are going to look like Friday at 9:30. Please don't make any trades based on this. This is more for our entertainment because if you guys have been doing this alongside of us, you know how ridiculously hard it is to pinpoint down to the minute what things are going to look
except
like.
for me, so you guys can make trades off.
You
of
have
mine,
not been
so.
perfect, Snake.
Oh my gosh, Snake.
Yeah, guys, go ahead.
I'm on your team. We are an alliance, but okay.
Go
Anyway,
ahead and make trades off mine.
Please don't.
We'll see if you win this week because it's going to be pretty hard.
I'm
On
kidding.
Bitcoin, I think this is Crypto Beard thinks that it's going to be about 28,000. And what's funny is all three of us are right in the same region, but why it's going to be hard for Smay to win is because Smay thinks it's going to be 28,069. So he is perfectly sandwiched right between me and Jeb because Jeb's is 28,800. So, Smay, I don't think you're going to get a Bitcoin win this week. Then we're going to move over to Ethereum, which I don't think you're going to get there either because I said 1,800 flat, you said 1,769, and Jeb said 1,750. That's pretty hard. I mean,
that was rough, bro.
It's rough. And just so you guys know, we don't hear each other's predictions when we predict. We predict based off what we think, so that's really unfortunate for poor Smay. I also don't think he's going to win Cardano because he has a trend here with the number 69. So he said 69 cents. It's possible. I mean,
so the thing is, guys, to be honest with you, it was more likely that it would go to 69 than 169, and I kind of had to keep with the theme. So I'm sorry.
You're being a very good witness to it.
So anyway, I said $1.20. Smay said 69 cents, and Jeb thinks $1.14. We will see. I mean, but I just don't know. Even if it drops below $1, it's gonna have to drop a little bit before you can steal it.
Someone noticed that it said slow down on the back of the card.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my note to Jeb.
That's
yeah.
the cue for me when I'm going too fast.
Oh yeah, slow down a little.
Yeah.
That's good.
We got one more super chat, and then we're gonna wrap it out. You want to read it, Tim?
Yep, it says, I just want to thank you guys for everything you do. You guys have gave me hope for my future. I'm excited to start CT2A soon. God bless.
He said
God bless you.
exited. I'm
exited to start CT2A soon.
I'm excited.
I'm exited for you also, my friend.
Exited.
I'm about to exit it right now. So
Guys, if you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out what we're trying to do here. Make sure to share this stream with someone that you think needs to hear it. I think this is a very important stream for a lot of people to hear. There's a lot of FUD in the space, and we want to curtail that. If you want to hear more about what Tim was just saying, you can email us, and we're more than happy to speak to you about that walk with Jesus if you guys would like to talk about that. Of course, there is no pressure there, but we are here if you'd like to hear more about that. And by the way, guys, we have a lot of new videos coming out to CT2A, so make sure you don't miss the sale. It will be over midnight on Thursday. Guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's stream. Before we go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.